All right, welcome everybody to the August 11th, 2025 meeting of the Open Space Committee. First, I need to read an announcement. This meeting of the Open Space Committee is being recorded and broadcast on the Town of Barnstable's Government Access Channel. In accordance with Mass General laws, I must inquire whether anyone else is recording this meeting, and if so, to make their presence known. Okay. Moving on to introductions. So I'm Lev Malikoff, I'm the chair, and I'm from Centerville.
Elisa Crowley, Barnstable.
Tracy Pratt, Katuitt.
David Gall, Centerville.
Liz Lewis, West Barnstable.
Kate Gulliver, Hyannis.
Ann Rowland, Centerville.
Barley Lewis, Hyannisport.
Jenna Zeno, Administrative Assistant.
And a couple guests.
Pedicini from the Planning Department.
And I'm Kelly Grant from Barnstable Land Trust.
And, feel free to join us at the table if you'd like. You have plenty of seats.
Have to sit with him.
Okay, has everybody hopefully taken a look at the minutes? And if so, I would entertain a motion to approve.
A motion to approve the minutes as
Do I hear a
written.
second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion? All good? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Okay, so moving into our main agenda, we're going to start with the open space and recreation plan. And Kyle's here from Planning Department to help us out. We do have a schedule that we might want to take a look at on the screen.
I would love to. Thank you.
Provided in our folder online for folks that want to look at that later as well.
So what I'm handing out is in a little bit of a different format, but it's the same. Yeah, a little different.
So I know we have a survey that's out and currently active, and all the viewers at home should fill out the survey. It's open until August 17th.
Through this Sunday.
So Kyle, if you want to get started and.
Sure. Oh, sorry.
It's okay, he has a rug.
Sorry to take your seat, Doug.
That's okay.
So here are actually I only have 8, so.
Oh, okay.
I have to print
Do you have
that one.
any-
But those are the flyers for the open house and survey. That Lev noted, the survey's out right now. I think we have already over 80 responses to date. But that was as of last week, so I think we're probably over 100 because it's been pretty good promotion. I actually saw it on the Cape Cod Reddit page the other day, which was cool that other people are sharing it out. So we put it on social media. We've got a press release. Jim Kupfer, the director of planning, did a town talk through our communications department. We have flyers and hard copies of the surveys at all the town libraries, the HYCC and the BACC. So as I mentioned, the open house will be on the 28th. I'd certainly encourage everybody here to attend. At that open house, there's going to be kind of a brief introduction of what the open space plan is, why it's important for the town to keep it up to date. And we're going to have a couple different activities, so I'm going to pass these out too. So these are in draft form. We're working with the rec department to finalize it. There's a couple typos on there. But there's going to be a build your own park exercise where we kind of help hear from the public about different prioritized improvements people want. And then another exercise is just boards and having people put sticky notes on with some prompts. And so just sharing that with you guys so you have a kind of a sneak peek of what these are going to look like. So there'll also be live Spanish and Portuguese interpretation because it's very important with the open space plans to make sure you do environmental justice outreach. And then there'll also be a one-page handout that's going to be prepared by the consultant, again, just going over what is an open space plan so people can take it home and learn more about it. So that's on Thursday, August 28th here at 6 p.m. So again, we're hoping everyone can attend. We're also going to be having stakeholder meetings on Thursday, September 4th. So we're inviting a member of this committee to attend along with the recreation group, which is going to take place from 9 o'clock to 10:30. That'll be via Zoom. We're going to have some more specific questions from our consultants to try to prompt some discussion from like a collection of stakeholders within that group. So I think I heard from the chair that Lev, you were going to be one of the members to attend, and I think Doug was going to be the other one, right? So looking forward to that. That's gonna, help us get more feedback on the type of, goals and objectives we want to develop. As you can see out on the schedule, so we're gonna have a public meeting on August 28th, the first one. We have our survey out now, stakeholder interviews in September. And then we'll have our second public meeting sometime in October, date to be determined. As our consultants start developing those early action plans and objectives, we're gonna wanna hear from the public to make sure we're hitting the mark based off of our initial feedback. And then they'll start developing out the actual plan and start drafting chapters in the fall after that meeting. And we're gonna make sure that you guys get sneak peeks of all the chapters so you can look them over and make sure we're on the right track. So that's kind of how we envision the process playing out. After you guys kind of approve of the draft chapters, they go to the town council for the ultimate presentation and approval. So that's kind of where we're at. I think we're making good progress. Again, we're at the initial data collection phase right now with the survey closing this Sunday. And then we'll really kick it off with the public on August 28th with that open house. I think we've had pretty good promotion of that so far, so I'm pretty confident we're gonna have some pretty good attendance for that. And then if anyone, we're gonna also record that open house, so if anyone can attend, they'll be able to watch that video. That's certainly not gonna be the only opportunity for people to provide comment. We're always happy to, take emails or however people wanna talk to us and provide feedback. But yeah, that's kind of a status update for the project. Happy to answer any questions.
One thing I just wanted to not lose track of, we've been talking about the plan now for several meetings and had it on the agenda. And I'm hoping the consultant can at least look at the minutes or even watch those segments. Because we did have, substantial comments, or not substantial, but meaningful comments
Yep.
on many of the action items from the existing plan, and hope that can be thrown into their development of the new plan.
I have a question, Kyle. The
Yes.
meeting on August 28th, is that in front of our committee or is that the task force?
No, that's just like the town's hosting a public meeting, so it's not gonna be like an official meeting
Okay.
of you guys, but you're certainly, a big part of the process, so, yeah, it'll be hosted by the town along with the consultant, though.
Sure, okay.
If we attend in mass, would we need to post that as a quorum?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think as long as you guys aren't deliberating on specific items, you're probably okay, but it's something we'll double check on, yeah. We can always post it, as a, just in case, say you can always post something that says the committee may meet in quorum, then you're kind of covered, so.
That's a good idea, I think, just in case.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jim about that and see how we want to handle that.
Because I imagine they'll all be commenting.
We hope so, yeah.
If I may, this is very clever, I never
Yeah,
have
I
seen
know.
such an outreach like that.
Yeah.
They kind of
Thought it was
turned it
cool,
into
yeah.
a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I put
Certainly have to caveat that the prices are not accurate prices.
Of course.
It's just for prioritization
Yeah, yeah, that
purposes,
makes
know.
to put a dollar
What's-
figure,
what's
that kind of
important.
conceptual.
Yeah, it's a way to prioritize things. What is most important to you,
Interesting.
basically.
Yeah, that's great.
No, that's very good.
So this is the first time I'm seeing it, a couple of things jump out at me. I think Marston Mill.
Needs an S at the end. I got it. Yeah, no, there's a couple typos that we're gonna correct, and we're also working with the rec department to make sure we have all the right places on the left side there and
Right.
from missing any, so.
So, if somebody was to fill this out, why are you limiting just to choose one place?
Well, we'll definitely have one at the end that says like open-ended, like, do you have another place that you wanna talk about? But the idea is to get some specific feedback on places, and that helps us get more kind of specific feedback. But we'll also have one at the end that says like, one not listed here, so if you just wanted to have a general one, or
Write it in.
there was something that we didn't have listed on the side, you can do that.
Well, my point is, would somebody have to take home 12 of these papers to weigh in on each
That's a good
place?
question, you might be able to select, multiple, I see what you're saying, yeah, or you could
Because-
just do a general comment,
Because people might be familiar with more than one.
Right.
And who
right.
might
Yeah,
feel
I'll have to
passionate
ask the
about.
consultant about how
Yeah.
exactly the mechanics of it will work.
But even if you checked, well.
If I was to do, I would probably advise somebody, I don't know exactly how the module's gonna work, but I would say then choose the bottom one that says other, and then give kind of general comments under other instead of like doing a
Yeah, yeah.
specific one. But I'll have to see how it's gonna look on a computer.
You might want to include the village in which these are
Yeah.
located, because not everybody would know.
I was gonna say
We
that.
can do that, we did that for the survey, so yeah.
Each one's a little different. I don't know what
People may not know.
Yep.
If someone lives in one village on one end of town and.
There's a lot of places on there I don't know where they are, and I was born and raised in this town. So yes,
I was like-
point taken.
Well, but
And
you gotta
I-
know one of these at least.
Yeah.
And I would say even regardless of that, like, anybody could be filling this out in its way that the town can see, this is how people think it should be spent.
Right.
Regardless of the park. So I think that's
Sure.
really gonna be the biggest gist that can come out of this, is where people see we need some improvements here, and this is where I want $500 worth of splash pad as close to me as possible. But there are certain places where that would make sense
Sure.
as far as the town's concerned.
Yeah, so we can definitely add the villages for the places, and I can look into if there's an easy way to do multiple responses at once without having to duplicate.
Right.
And how about, would the survey be restricted to town of Barnstable residents? You're asking for name and email.
Well, so yeah, this will be at the actual open house that we're doing on the 28th. This is an activity at the open house.
I see.
So, anybody who comes to our open house, it's gonna be a public meeting. We're not gonna kick people out the door if they're
No, I
from
know,
Sandwich,
but just- But if town of Barnstable residents are paying for any
Yep.
improvements, I would think that that's who I prefer to hear from,
Understood.
so we don't have.
But I would think, like, first thing I thought about, that went with some of the community planning stuff earlier, was the fact of doing small groups, and then as you're sitting around, you come up with your ideas. So Doug, what were your ideas? How would you spend your money? And then that could really add to the discussion as well. You know,
Breakout session.
Yeah.
So this is pretty much designed, or it strikes me as being designed for the recreational side of the open space and recreation, not
Yeah,
for-
I'd say that's accurate, yeah, because we're talking about recreational amenities. Though I think there could be
Well,
some
there's some
things.
shade trees.
Yeah, there's some things on there that would be
Yeah.
kind of passive, open space type of stuff too, outdoor lighting and stuff like that.
Benches.
We could use outdoor lighting here.
Hmm.
It's not a park.
So I think it should make for a good meeting on the 28th, and
Yeah, it should be.
as long as, if these serve no purpose other than to start the conversation, get people thinking, then they're effective.
Yeah. It's a start.
I like it.
Maybe the consultant can design a similar type of gamey way of eliciting input for where would you like more open space? I don't know, I'm just saying
Yeah.
for the open, this is recreation on open space. I'm
On
just,
the backside, you can write in or draw your idea.
yeah, for park, but I'm just saying places that,
Oh,
I'm
just for
assuming that,
open- Yeah, you mean like a real
I-
open space.
I have heard that there is a desire in the village of Hyannis for more open space
Yeah.
for that village. I'm just saying, I don't know if you have an avenue of input for,
Yeah,
Yeah, like open space or more trails or more conservation areas that they could that could be added to this.
yeah, I can talk to the consultant
You
about
know, I
that.
mean, they're successful towns.
They're like afterthought. It should be up there with the code, I could.
the
Well, they
different
stand
colors.
out, they're a little bright.
That's cool, that's a clever
So
idea.
some sort of tool from the public, where they say the spots that are lacking open space that they'd like for it to be part of the future. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So isn't that the purpose of this?
Yeah, yep, the other board,
I
yep.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, true.
Thank you, very good answer. Good response.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla.
True.
Anybody else have ideas? Comments? Okay, so I guess we'll look forward to everybody, I guess, continue to spread the word amongst your friends and groups and constituents.
Yeah,
as
if
far-
anybody would like more of the little handouts, just let me know. Happy to print out more for you. Do you want some?
Can I just ask a question that you may have said this? Is there gonna be like big printed maps of all of the open space and villages that people can?
Yes, there will be printed out maps and lots of good stuff.
And is Barnstable Land Trust able to also share the word about all these
Absolutely, yeah, I think that they.
Actually, just
shared
got
it
an email from Sue Sullivan, right?
Right.
That said that they put it in the newsletter and they got some good feedback.
Well, good.
I suppose if I hold this up in front of the camera, everybody at home, phone next to the QR codes?
I don't know if the camera quite works like that.
Okay. Okay, I guess we'll, thank you, Kyle. Move on to our,
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you very much.
See everybody on the 28th.
Thank you, Kyle.
Okay,
Good work.
yeah, no.
Kyle,
quick question.
Yeah, just one, oh, wait, sorry, I'm repeating the note. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we also now have an agenda item that's gonna be very helpful in educating the public, is the open space forum that we're proposing. We now have a date of September 29, Monday, 5:30 to 7 p.m. in the council chamber. It will be video recorded, so we'll be able to save that onto our webpage for people to view it in the future. I received confirmation from Mark Robinson of the compact, and Kelly is also going to be a featured speaker. So one thing we want to now push forward is designing the agenda on a flyer, and Jenna has offered to provide services in that regard that we can then use that to get the word out. So we do have on our folder on the website the example from Harwich, which can sort of become the seed of whatever might be suited to our forum. So, you know, this is, I guess, to be edited to reflect some other mission of the workshop, but you know, I would welcome it as an open space committee meeting forum. I would welcome our speakers, and Kelly, you know, if that's an appropriate topic title, we can retain that. And I'll check with Mark on if there's something else or a change to that you'd like to do. I don't know if we would have a landowner that would want to, you know, speak to the wonderful benefits of conserving open space. And would we do a mapping exercise, which might be quite interesting, to tell you the truth, if we had something. Is that something that
I can do the map, I can do the mapping exercise as well, if not.
okay?
And I would think Mark or Janet could find a landowner if that might, you know, say, that's taken advantage of this, the tax break and things.
To give a testimonial.
Yeah, testimonial.
I was thinking that this was also gonna be educational in terms of just the general public learning about open space. Or, you know, the people that are actually involved in creating open space.
Well, I could, you know, generalize that maybe in my welcoming remarks about the benefits of open space, and
Yeah.
I'll need information.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working on a separate presentation that is more focused on that, the benefits of conservation, kind of why we're doing it, and the benefits to the town, the benefits to residents, the benefits to businesses. So if you want to maybe look at some of those slides that you could summarize, and you're welcome if you
Or
want
you
to
could
have an
include it
introduction.
in your
Or I
topic.
can include it
And
at the beginning
maybe, it would be a little more descriptive that what it says here, so people can understand that they may not personally be having their land conserved, but they would be of interest if, town is dedicating resources to acquire.
Yeah.
They should hopefully understand the benefits, some of which would even be fiscal, believe it or not. Yeah.
I agree with Farley. I think it would be beneficial about the general benefits for open space, or that open space provides to our community. For example, I sat in on I'm on the town's committee on committees, and we recently hosted Lindsay Council from the Community Preservation Committee, on which Farley sits. But he shared with the group, and he's been involved for a long time. Even, he chaired the Land Bank Committee, or Open Space Committee, when it was administering land bank fund, or making recommendations for land bank fund expenditures. But he made a mention at our meeting that residential development always costs the town more. And he just said that, and it was kind of new information for some of the people around the table. I was kind of aware of that, but I believe that BOT's got some data that supports that assertion.
Yeah, so we've been working on, there's been some studies done in other towns around Massachusetts about the cost of services and how it often shows that residential development ends up costing more than it brings in revenue, as opposed to open space, which usually brings in more than it costs the town in terms of services. So we're working on some of that data just to, come up with some numbers that we can be comfortable with. And so we plan to share that as part of it.
That's
great.
That's very
Great.
compelling.
That's really important.
But I'm aware that at the council level, there's some thinking that open space takes property off the tax rolls, and they're concerned about the fiscal health of this kind of strategy. So this would just be information that does a little truthing, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's
To
great.
just go back and drill down to the data, whatever it shows. But if it's been consistent, what what do I want to say? Support for open space acquisition as opposed to development for residential, as opposed to commercial, with 14% or less of land that's left undeveloped or unprotected. This will become a increasingly poignant discussion to have as we get closer to build out in our town. So thank you for that.
Anybody have ideas or questions, how to make this an awesome forum? You can always share your idea when it comes to you in the middle of the night.
Well, I've been part of, a land trust that put on one of these workshops, and, Mark, ran it, and it's, I always had pretty good attendance, and, we've got a few people in it that actually went through the process. So I'm glad that he's still doing it.
Yeah, I guess the value we're adding is that it'll be recorded, so
Yeah,
it can be available to people from any town.
yeah. No, he walks, you through the whole process, and it's very good.
I just have one question, if everyone's finished. It was related to that mapping exercise, because when we did this in Harwich, it was an event that was hosted by the Harwich Conservation Trust. So we were able to use a particular person's property and look at the conservation values and map it. And I didn't know whether we wanted to kind of use that approach or something maybe more general, just because it's a public meeting. I don't know if it's a different kind of forum or audience, like whether people in the audience would be willing to say, can you look my property up? Because that's kind of how it was, can you look my property up? And maybe people will be more reluctant to do that in the setting, I'm not sure. But obviously, we would also make ourselves available to speak to anyone who wanted to have a one-on-one conversation.
Right.
But
Right.
I don't know whether, maybe we just aimed at having a more general mapping exercise
I think that makes
with
sense.
offline conversations afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, it's all out there, all that information.
It
You know,
is,
and it's one of those things that then when people can say, oh, yeah, could you look at mine right now? That'd be kind of cool.
And if people are happy to do that,
Yeah.
that's too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's also an acreage, you know, there's a minimum, you know, acreage that you can do, so if somebody says, well, I got this little, you know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But then that would be something that
yeah,
automatically gets
yeah,
answered, which is something that's important. Because I still have all these questions about CRs and the like.
yeah.
I think it's, people need to know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know, how is it taking it off? What gets taken off?
Right.
So it's,
I think CRs, I mean, kind of a brief, you know, talk about CRs
Yeah,
too, just to
yeah,
refresh
definitely.
people, yeah.
Do you happen to have a particular property that BLT has worked with?
Yeah, I mean, we could use one of our more recent projects as like a case study, one that we've recently completed, like the Wheeler property or
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of shows the process that we went through to identify it as a priority in terms of the conservation values and then how we worked with the landowner and the structure of the funding sources and conservation restrictions, so. Yeah, we could do that as a case study, and then if people have individual questions, they can ask those too.
Actually, two things struck me. One, if this room is available, I'm wondering if there is someone who can come with a laptop, and if a particular attendee wanted to look up their property, they could come on the side room, you know, or something like that, that we're not interrupting the meeting, because it might get in the weeds, and
Yeah,
you might want to respect their privacy, because
I
might
know.
not, they might decide not to do so, so I'm thinking that maybe while the information is fresh, you
Yeah.
can say there'll be an opportunity in the other room, if this room will still be available.
Okay.
There might be another room available, if it is.
Or, you know, sign up sheet or something.
Well,
if you'd
I'm
like.
thinking,
Yeah,
while
no,
while
It's
the,
good to do it while
Yeah,
it's.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, no, I agree, but I'm
it
just
might
trying
be
to
an
cover all the
opportunity to say,
bases.
oh, you know, we're gonna go on with our workshop. But
Yeah.
in the meantime, if somebody's interested in individual questions, you can come on the side or something like that. There was some, the other thing that struck me while you were speaking is perhaps you could address that the condition that once a parcel is acquired for open space, its effect on its neighboring parcels, because I have suggested to at least one other person that the property values, once a new parcel is acquired for open space preservation, that the neighbors are the primary beneficiaries in two ways, not only their comfort, but also I contend that there's a financial bump to
Oh, yeah.
to their value.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which also rolls on to a benefit to the town from increased revenue.
That's my
tax
point, so
Yeah.
when I mentioned it, the person was skeptical, and I didn't have any data to
Okay, yeah,
support
there's,
that.
there's definitely some research
Yeah.
that, in the
So-
slide presentation that.
So I'm just saying that answers to those who question that when property is acquired for open space, that there's lost tax revenue to the town. That's what I'm not trying to assert anything that's not true, I'm just trying to substantiate something that happens to be truthful if it is.
Open space?
Thank you, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, absolutely.
When we were discussing earlier about hyenas, there's also the opportunity for smaller parcels for pocket parks.
Yeah.
And they had done that down towards the West End Rotary, and then
Yeah, but.
now that's turned into a construction site that was a pocket park.
Yeah, I know.
That
Well, are
that was a prime open space area for the village of Hyannis.
Yes,
Isn't it going to be a sewer
Yeah,
pumping
it
station?
is.
It's a
Yeah,
pumping
that's
It
what
was
it's
supposed
gonna
to be a park.
I know, I was wondering about
There's
that
park. I think
Now
that
it's a
the
pump park.
DPW reimbursed the town for
Yeah,
that
that shouldn't,
taking.
But that's a lost space.
I understand.
Right.
And the other issue would be is having multi-use paths that connect these so that people can get, I mean, I think of Keys Beach as a perfect example. Now that there's a multi-use path there, people can, that's a small park. It has picnic tables, there's a place. And then also at Veterans, I parked at the Kennedy Memorial and walked out to Calmus Beach. And there's, people really use that Veterans Park on the weekends. It's
loaded.
heavily used. So, and that, that's not on that list, is it? The,
Veterans Park,
is it?
no.
No,
Yeah,
and
it
that,
should be.
probably more people use that park than any other park I've seen.
Yes,
Well,
that's true.
it's interesting, there's none of the, kind of the beach areas I mentioned.
Well, that's, and those are, like when you look at Keys Beach or you look at Veterans, Hathaway's is there.
Yeah.
People do use Hathaway's for picnicking and,
Yeah.
Yes.
The park that's behind, in Barnstable Village, behind the hollow. You know,
well, but
behind
that's
the-
crazy, there's no parking there.
I know.
You get
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
I walk by
That's your
that
choice.
daily, and once a week, I'll see a parent with a child there, and that's it. And the town invested huge money, and misspent money, in my opinion, on the hollow, and there's no parking.
Well, you can park at the Unitarian Church.
You can, but people don't know that.
Oh, there's a
Well,
sign that
there's
says
like,
parking.
what's the
Yeah.
eco tour parking? Can you park in there and go to the hollow from there?
Well, you could park, but you could park at the old jail, the complex, the
Yeah.
Coast Guard
That's,
Museum.
A lot.
There's not that much parking
No.
there though.
No,
But I agree that the Unitarian Church parking lot would be the best, except for Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Except.
or Scone Day. No, they have.
Alright. Okay, so I think we're making good progress. And anybody else have anything more to add or chime in?
I suggest that for Keys Beach or Veterans Beach or these other suggestions you have, email to Kyle so that they can, they're put on here alphabetically.
Yeah, we're kind of on our last topic, but that's a great point. So if there's anything on the open space plan that's missing from that list, which I would love to get a copy of at some point.
What,
I
of
guess-
the open space plan?
No, whatever everyone's looking at.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
That one?
I guess there's a printing shortage, so I didn't get one. But
Mr. Chair.
I can share with some of the architects. All right, thank you. We all good?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. So fall walking weekend is coming. It's a good idea to kind of lock in our dates so we can have those when we start to do the marketing and recruiting people to do the walks. I know we've traditionally had it around the Columbus Day weekend. And I think in the spring, we kind of moved away from a holiday weekend just because it seemed like then people could do their holiday things. So if we wanted to go a week earlier, October 4th or 5th, a week later, October 18th or 19th, I think either one of those could work very well. I can't say what the weather will be on either of those two, but the fall is generally pretty nice. Does anybody have any concerns with either of those two options? And
What were those weekends again?
October 4th and 5th is Saturday, Sunday. Although we do start off on Friday, so there's usually some Friday walks as well. But that's the weekend before the holiday weekend, and then 18th, 19th is the weekend after.
So you don't want to have it on the holiday weekend? That's
Um,
what traditionally has been done.
I know that's what we've traditionally done, and then we've had different concerns and inputs, but we could keep it on the holiday weekend. I just know that sometimes people like to go away for holidays, do holiday things, so.
It probably makes sense to be, if we're not doing it on Columbus Day weekend, the following weekend, because the way the weather is now, it's warm. You do?
Yeah, I think with the number of walks we get, we don't really need the extra day to schedule, but as far as how many we did, like in the spring, Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah, no,
and then if we had a Monday as well, we could have more walks. But I guess I'll let you guys chime in on that.
Farley, you're the leader.
Yeah, you're the leader of walking weekends, so.
leader of walking weekend. Well, I don't know about a Monday, if we were gonna do this, say, 1 week later after Columbus Day, would be Friday, 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Yeah, there's no need for a Monday if you were doing that.
Maybe
No,
on
you
Monday.
wouldn't do it Monday, no.
Never on a Monday.
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I'd be fine with that if people wanna push it back.
I like that idea better than the holiday weekend. Yeah, I do think a lot of people go away.
Yeah,
Some of us probably.
Yeah. I mean, so, good with 17th, 18th, 19th, if that sounds good to
Do we-
everybody else.
Kind of feel do we need a vote or we have consensus? We have
Does
consensus?
anybody?
I think so.
Anybody not have consensus?
Well, I was trying to look it up, but I think we have moved up our October meeting to the first Monday of the month, so we could advertise walking weekend, which had been on the holiday weekend. So I'm just letting you know that.
We can still do that.
Yeah, you still can, I'm just saying that that was the justification for having it on the 1 month in October, having our meeting on the first Monday as opposed to the second.
The second Monday is
Second
Columbus
Monday.
Day.
The holiday, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we would have it on the first also to announce, but yeah, you're right, it works.
First Monday, announce for the third Monday. What's
Okay.
the third week?
Yeah, we also have a September meeting to flesh this out a little bit more too. So that's great. So we're ahead of the curve this time. Again.
Always.
Always.
Okay.
Okay, so let's then say Friday, Saturday, Sunday, October 17, 18, 19. Alright. So we can have the flyer anytime, because we'll just say, check back here for the walk schedule, whenever we get that going. Okay. Alright, great. So
Alright.
now I'm looking at some of our old business. Is the Centerville Cranberry Bog, anything to
I-
share?
I have heard no. I do understand the residents around the bog continue to, want to stop the sale of the bog. But I don't know a lot more than that, but they are working hard on it.
Chris, do you know what's happening with that? It seems like 4 years is an awfully long time.
But the.
It's a very long time,
Is it the town
The town,
legal office that's holding it up?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, my information is not guaranteed, it's rumor-ish.
the residents are upset because in order to sell that property, it should have been agreed upon town council, and it was not. So they're contesting that.
Because they've been contesting for 4 years.
Yes.
Which is insane.
But my understanding is that the fault isn't with the town, it was with the seller. The seller and the seller's attorney had the obligation to follow the state law that when property came out of chapter 61A, that there is a prescription on who gets notified or who gets told. And apparently, the town manager was asked, and the town manager asked the staff, but the law says not staff, but the committees, conservation, planning board, the town council, those were all supposed to have received a letter from the seller's attorney, and that's what did not happen. So it's not, didn't get parked at the town hall. The responsibility wasn't with town staff to notify the committees. The responsibility was with the landowner, the seller.
Thank you, Chris.
That's my understanding.
Does that mean then that there's a cloud on the title?
That's
So-
my understanding, is that it was not dispensed properly.
But so when does it get dispensed properly? It seems
Well,
like,
probably whenever that property needs to be sold, it won't have a clear title.
but so
And
it's
they
not,
wouldn't
it
be able to
can't
get
be
financing.
being sold.
Well, selling
With
something
its
without a
cash.
clear title is
Yeah, I'm sure that
it's difficult at best.
buyer doesn't want it. And I thought that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Nobody can
It
even
is
finance development.
So it's just in limbo, but it's been in limbo for so long.
4 years,
But
at
now the
least.
problem is, so then the seller should be clearing the title. I mean, why aren't they doing anything? Maybe they don't want.
I don't know. Maybe we should contact the town attorney and find out.
Well, I can certainly put in that request again. I will add it to my, monthly request, and hopefully I'll hear something. Okay. Anything else? Yes?
Regarding this process, my understanding is the town attorney had been working on developing a process, a protocol, a policy for dispensing Chapter 61A and Chapter 61B properties, so that this won't happen again, that it'll be a more clear policy for the town. And that actually can be added to the open space and recreation plan. That's actually what I mentioned to Kyle, that as we update the plan, those are some of the how do I want to say, advances that we've made since the last plan that would be helpful. And I was told by the town attorney that it was almost done. Unfortunately for Attorney Nober, she unexpectedly lost her husband this spring, and she lost another attorney in the town attorney's office. So she's had a couple of setbacks that this didn't rise to be a front burner issue. But now that we're working on the open space plan, it probably can be addressed now that some time has passed, and I hope that she's been able to replace the Attorney Connolly who left the town. So I'm just saying that I understand the problem with the bog going forward. I think that won't happen again. I think that there's an awareness now that was not proper process, but it was not the town's obligation. My understanding if you read the language of the state law, it's the seller's obligation. But then we can ask the town manager that should this happen again, don't just ask your staff.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, now there's an awareness.
yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thanks.
I think that going forward with the decline of the cranberry industry and other agriculture in this town, that the issue of 61A and 61B is probably going to be some of the most available land left.
Yes.
And that as part of the open space plan, that should be front and center. That is a clear delineation of of how the town is gonna proceed with these properties as, the cranberry industry shifts out of Massachusetts.
Alright, thank you. Other old business, potential property acquisitions. Don't have anything to add at this point. If somebody has come across anything out there. Comaquid Woods, we just got an update. I guess we can show the message from Rizzo, and she emailed to say that the parcels in the Comaquid Woods proposal have been bought by developers. So she's kind of letting us know that process is now terminated.
Has been bought by the who?
Development.
Oh dear.
So I guess our opportunity is left. Okay. Update on outstanding conservation restrictions. I don't have something, but does anybody have anything to share with that?
Do we have the status of the ones that have been on the table for a number of years?
I don't have that answer. I can ask again. Oh, here we
I
go.
can give you a little update.
Oh, good.
So the latest correspondence we had with Tom LaRosa, the town attorney, was that he came back to us with some fresh edits to the conservation restrictions. This is the Harju entrance. Emerald, I think, is set aside at the moment because it needs a new site plan because there was a boundary issue. So that one, I think they're waiting on a new site plan. But the other two, there were some fresh edits that came from legal. So that means because we already went through the review process and we already took it to the state and we already got approval for local signatures, we have to go back now to the state again. So that's where it's at. It's actually with me right now. So I'm gonna be sending them back to the state to get approval for, I have it on my list to talk to Tom tomorrow just before I do that, in case there's a way that the edits are not substantial so that we can just continue to get them signed. Because they're all, we already have the votes to approve, it's really just getting the signatures that we need, so, yeah, so that's with me.
Thank you.
But that's good news in that the town is working on it.
Yeah, there's definitely
There's-
progress,
there's
there's definitely progress, yeah,
yeah.
so even if, I have to take them back to the state and then bring them back again, at least we're moving forward, so.
Thank you.
Crazy.
I guess the next item is a bunch of pathways related subjects. Only thing I wanna just mention, not having been at the meeting last month, but we did have a agenda item about the pathways program in town. And I just wanted to, mention that, after looking at the plan itself and looking at the town code, where we are the responsible committee for implementing Cape Cod pathways. The plan itself states that the route may change in response to evolving implementation efforts. So we've actually looked at these as a committee in the past. For instance, Farley and I helped update the descriptions of the routing, including the changes at the Barnstable State Forest by YMCA and at the Cape Cod Community College itself. So those things, we'd like to move forward with updating the plan. I think staff was concerned that the plan, which had been approved by the town council in 2003, if there were any changes in the routing, it would have to go back to the town council with a new plan. I don't think that's the case based on my read of the town code. And I had a discussion with Chris earlier today as a town council member of whether, she would see that the council will need to weigh in on changes to the routing. But that's kind of my viewpoint. So I think,
Yeah, I think that when Gracie was here at the last meeting, we discussed the fact that the original language for the charter for the pathways was that it was meant to be a walking trail, and that it was gonna have to, make a shift over to a multi-use clause rather than just strict walking, that might be something that they need to discuss further. Is that how you remember?
I read the plan,
Yeah,
and mountain biking and cross-country skiing were in the original plan.
were they? Okay.
I think it's important that we maintain that it's passive recreation. And particularly, I think this issue is gonna come up with motorized electric bicycles. I was on the sidewalk in Barnstable Village, right in the very middle of the village, and a kid on a motorized bicycle came tearing right down in front, right through the whole village on the sidewalk. And it's not a stretch to imagine that they're gonna be on the trails. So I think it's important that we emphasize that it's passive recreation on the Cape Cod Pathways trails. Meaning under your own
Power. Yeah.
But then you're gonna have to define that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do,
General
'cause,
public.
yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
public won't understand passive recreation, they won't know what
Yeah.
it means. You gotta
No,
spell
I
it
think
out.
we need
You
to
have
be
to have-
specific in that plan because, and I think the town is gonna have to look at the issue of motorized vehicles on the sidewalks.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing this all the time now.
That's awful.
That wouldn't be our jurisdiction.
Those sidewalks lead to our conservation areas. That's the ideal situation, is that we're not working under a dated model where someone drives to a conservation area and gets out and walks or bikes, that they can safely get there by walking or biking.
And I hear what Chair Malakoff says. I too looked up the E-code and it says the Open Space Committee shall be responsible for implementing and promoting the approved Cape Cod Pathways Plan within the town of Barnstable, including but not limited to promoting and advising on the town's walking library, which is accessible to the public online and details the various walks throughout the town. I read that, but I also realize after speaking with you, Lev, that the overarching authority for this committee is advisory. So we don't have power to tell staff what to do, but we can advise or make recommendations and suggestions. But it does say responsible for implementing, so I guess that's,
okay.
I just say that. And I'll look into that a little further,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah, I just, want to be clear whether we have
Yes,
to go back to town council
No, you're-
for this issue, which I don't think it's warranted, but,
I hear you, I agree.
okay. All right, let's talk, Tracy, do you have something about Centuit?
Not much. It's very dry out there, and the pond is gone, Santuit Pond has gone bad. Water's terrible now.
Oh, yeah.
Lack of rain and the heat, I'd say. Couple of people living out there that look pretty new. This is all in Mashpee. And that's about it. Not much is happening. It's quiet.
Tracy, when you say the water's gone bad,
I mean, it's just cyanobacteria.
So it's tested.
It's yellow.
oh, yeah, I guess that's it.
I haven't read the Mashpee alerts. I don't know if Barnstable tests Santuit Pond. I don't think they do. Mashpee does.
Okay. Farley, do you have something from
Um,
CPC?
Sure, since CPC met July 21st, 2025, application from BLT requesting $307,500 for open space funds to preserve an ecologically important retired cranberry bog property consisting of 25.74 acres within the Great Marsh and Barnstable Harbor watershed, addressed 301 Parker Road, West Barnstable. Total purchase price is $615,000, and BLT will apply for a conservation partnership grant to help fund the acquisition. And then the CR would go to the town of Barnstable and so forth. But we sent it back to BLT for a second appraisal, so I don't know if that's happened or not.
So, yeah, the latest information I have is that Lindsay Council has commissioned a second appraisal, which we're hoping will be available for the September meeting, CPC meeting, so that we can consider. And we had a site walk on Friday with some members of the CPC to show them the property.
What's the address?
It's 301 Parker Road in West Barnstable.
Does it include the upland also?
Yes.
It does.
So it's been appraised by our appraiser as being suitable for a single family lot plus the cranberry bog, for everything. So there's, they considered there to be space enough for development of one single family lot.
But again, I think that's gonna come up more and more.
Right, yes,
with-
yeah, very timely with your comments, yeah.
Thank you. So two more things to,
Could I ask one other question on the Parker Road property? Does it abut the red trail, do you know?
Yeah, we actually, and I should have brought the maps. We were asked that question about connectivity to the Cape Cod pathways, and there's a couple of ways of connecting both to the north to, I think it's the Blue Trail, the Jenkins Trail.
Yes.
And then, and because directly on the other side of Parker, there is two places where there's frontage for that town-owned space. There's a road layout and then the actual frontage on the parcel, where we could bring a trail up and connect with the Blue Trail. And then at the south of the property, there is a way of connecting to, there's a trail that, it's not the Cape Cod Pathway Trail, it's a connector trail that runs along Falcon Road and around, I forget the pond. And then it loops down to the Cape Cod Pathway, so it's a nice connection.
Garrett's Pond. Oh, Spruce Pond.
Spruce Pond is the one that this existing trail loops around, so you could connect into that trail, which then hits the Cape Cod Pathways. So it's a really nice way of connecting to both parts of Cape Cod Pathways without having to go out to that highway section. And there was also, I think, an issue with a piece that cuts through some private property and there. So it's a nice solution to that as well.
This sounds like an important property.
Yeah, it's a great property, it's beautiful, and if anyone is interested in seeing it, we're absolutely happy to show anyone around, so.
Maybe BLT can host a walk
Yeah.
in the fall, and we can walk in.
And the plan is to bring the conservation restriction, the project to your committee once we have made it through the CPC committee.
That's good timing.
Smith's Creek's conservation restriction closing will be scheduled as soon as documents are issued from land court. Whatever that means.
Where is that? What?
Smith's Creek Conservation.
Oh, Smith's Creek, yeah.
Bridge Creek.
Where is that?
6A, in West Barnstable.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And.
That's the one we bushwhacked.
Is that the Arenda Wildlife Land Trust?
The one down at the end of Meadow Lane? Is it that one?
It's this side of it.
Okay,
It's
yeah, I know
East
where
of
it
it.
is, yeah.
Tuet Highland Conservation Restriction request has been appropriated at the June 5th, 2025 Town Council public hearing. And that's all I have, I think. A letter of intent seeking funds for trail signage to be located on town-owned conservation property is anticipated for September. CPC meeting from the Planning and Development Department. And BLT will be submitting their application on the Montero project at a future date, the fall.
Yeah, and then there was, you mentioned was the Mill Pond Preserve property, which I think is, yeah, that's been through the
Yeah,
CPC now, right? But we are just waiting for the town attorney's comments on the conservation restriction, and then we're bringing that one to you as well. And that's 13 acres on Mill Pond.
There's a trail on that.
There is an
Yeah.
existing, yeah, it's kind of the driveway, but then it connects to the trail from the town land to the north.
On this list, so I was trying to.
On the issue of the trail signage, in both Harwich and Chatham, the town and the conservation trusts use the same signage on their trails. Is there a way to get BLT to indicate where their trails are also?
Is that
The brown signs
sign?
that,
Yeah, I think somebody had spoken with Kelly Barber at BLT about that, right? Grace Rogers, yeah, I think she had
It's a
been in
standard,
contact. Yeah, it's a standard
sign template that's used in many areas, and when I put together the list that we've been talking about of all of our properties, we were thinking, well, let's invite BLT and Brenda and whoever else to become a partner as well, but they want to keep it simple for now for the town. But if you have property on a road leading to one of your trailheads, that would be great to join the
With
club.
parking.
Yeah. Well, this is a way to reach out to underserved communities that are not aware that that's part of our mission is reaching out to people who may not have the wherewithal to or live adjacent to the trails, because that a lot of times is the people who are using them.
Okay. Anything else, Farley?
I'm all done.
Okay, so looking forward to seeing as many of you at the 28th public workshop here on the open space plan. And spread the word about the survey. It's only open until August 17th. And now I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you,